Hi, this is Jamie with Antelope Beads, and I want to talk about how to use leather, in this instance 0.5 millimeter leather cord, to wrap around Euro leather, and you could even use it on Regulus leather, but it's a way to add a little bit more of a design element to your pieces, as well as a way to get the beads and components to stay in place. So you can see in this one here we've used a little bit of leather and then some wire, whereas this one we've used just leather. And I'm going to replicate a similar design like this for you to show you how, but I just want to show you the front here with the leather wrapped around, and here's the back. And it may look a little bit tricky, but it's not, because these little spacers have a little bit of extra width on them. It's easy to tuck the leather cord ends through these spacers and able to tie them together in a little knot. And like I said, let's show you how to make a similar design to this. Okay, here's my components. I have a length of the 10 millimeter flat Euro leather, one of the cutout slides, and then one of these bar slides, along with 1 yard of the 0.5 leather cord. And I have my slide cut out here placed about halfway on the middle of my leather, and I'm going to take some of my cord, and I want to place it on the back of the leather with a few inches extending down toward the end of the leather like this. I'm going to take my non-dominant hand and hold this while I take my dominant hand and make one wrap around the leather. Now I want to place the wrap on top of this little tail end that I did. So I wrap around, a little bit slippery, so you have to have patience, and as with any technique, this one's going to take a little bit of practice. But I'm going to just continue wrapping this cord around as I trap the tail end underneath the new wraps that I'm forming, like this. So I want to keep doing that so that I have 5 wraps around the flat leather cord. And I know it's tricky to see because I kind of have to hold on to it as I go, but you can see that I continue to wrap around this tail end here so that it comes out from the bottom. So there I have my 5 wraps on the front there. And it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of space between them now, because you can go back through afterwards and tighten them up by pushing your slider into place. But I'm going to flip it back over onto the back here, and I have my 2 tail ends, and hopefully one's going to be kind of leaning toward one direction and the other in the other direction. So now I'm going to take the little slider bar piece and slide it onto the leather. As I said before, there's a little bit of extra width here on either side of the flat leather. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's a little bit of extra room. So with that, I'm going to take the leather cord end and slide it through that piece there so that it comes out the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing with the long end of the leather on the other side of the slider, tucking it up through there. All the while I'm trying to hold on to those leather wraps too to keep it in place. And you can see here with my extra length I somehow got a knot in my cord. So before I pull it all the way through the slider, I'll take that knot out. Okay. Now we've got both ends of the leather cord pulled up through this slider bar, and now I can just kind of snug that slider bar down while I pull up on these ends, like so. So here's what the front looks like now when we push that flower back over. Now I'll flip it over to the back again, and I'm going to just keep this short end now pulled toward the center. So I don't want to cover it up anymore. I'm going to use this now just to tie the finishing knot. I'm going to use the long end of the leather to continue wrap around the flat leather. So I'm going to bring it and wrap this around 5 times again. 4, there's 5. And now what I want to do is flip it over onto the back, and I want to gently pull these two ends together. And then I want to tie a little knot here. I'm just going to tie a little overhand knot. And it's there right on the edge, and if I kind of pull it around and tuck it around, I can get it to sit right there on the back. Now what I want to do is take our super new glue in this little bottle, and I'm just going to put a tiny little dot of glue on this knot. After that, you want to let it sit and let it completely dry overnight. And once it's dry, then you can go back in and trim off your edges. In the meantime, you can go and just repeat the whole process on the other side of this flower using a second piece of cord. You may have enough length in your first yard to do it on the other side, but if you're practicing, if it's the first time you're doing it, you'll definitely want to purchase an extra yard of the 0.5 millimeter leather cord to make sure you have enough to finish your piece. And once again, when you finish this wrapping, you're going to have a piece that looks like this. This is just one of the many Euro leather designs that we have in our Ideas and Inspiration page in our designer gallery. So please visit antelopebeads.com to see this idea and many, many more. Thank you.